For those who are new to the channel, I share videos and tutorials here on YouTube, and you can find free high-resolution photo references on my Patreon site. If you like what I do and you want to support me, you can show your love over at Patreon. Hey guys, today I'm going to do a bit different from my usual realism style. Going to be a little bit impressionistic today. I'm going to use a Reeves canvas. It's 5.1 inch by 7.1 inch. I bought this from Premier Art and it was only like 9 ringgit and 40 cents. And for today, I'm going to use a brand new type of paint, because usually I use golden artist colors, but for today I am going to use Holbien water soluble oil colors. This is really interesting because oils tend to have it releases toxic fumes, which is kind of dangerous. So and you're also like using minerals to like dilute the oil, so it's best to do it in a well ventilated environment, which I do not have. So this is very interesting because oils always have that nice blend tone to it, which acrylic doesn't have because acrylic dries too fast. So this is really interesting. This was given to me by the owner of Stickerrific, and I'm going to paint her little mascot of the store. Her name is a kitty cat. Her name is Leia, and that will be my subject for today's painting. So you can see all the different colors, which is amazing. Oh, you even have a quick drying medium. That's interesting. And you have like many different colors. Like if you followed my videos, I usually tell you that I only have a handful of colors because it's just cheaper to mix it. But then you get all these different kinds of colors in a set, like different gradients of yellow. And even have different gradients of blue. It's gonna be really fun. Okay, for the background, I decided I want something a little pastel, like not pastel but like soft color look. So I decided to go with a blue / purple-ish tone. So this will be the colors that I'll be using. I think I'll mix mauve with permanent white just to have a lighter purple instead of too dark. I love cerulean blue, kind of reminds me of the sky, and this one will be like the darker tones. I will have to see how dark it is on the canvas. So I have already removed the wrapper, and I'm using a palette knife to scoop out the paint. Like this is usually helps save more paint as to compare if you're going to use it on your brush. It's actually pretty dark. I think it's good enough. Looks really dark. So I don't know. This is my first time using it. I'm not really sure how this will go down, like how well it will blend, as well as drying time, because oils, I know that it takes really long for it to dry, and acrylic just takes seconds. Whereas oils, from what I understand, that it can take really like overnight long. I need a little bit more of cerulean blue. I might have to mix cerulean blue with white. We'll just see how it goes. Okay, this is very dark. Looks almost super dark. I'm gonna take a little bit out. Take some permanent white. Well, it's really hard to open this. Give me a sec. I think it really dried up around the tube. Okay, I finally managed to get it open. Okay, take some permanent white out. Take quite a bit. Oops. Okay. not sure how bright this will go. So let's mix it first before I make any rash decisions. It does have a very, very nice purple tinge. Actually, now that you mix it up nicely, it looks really pretty, like a lavender purple. Maybe I should add more. I think maybe I added too much purple in contrast. Okay. Using a number 16 brush just to spread the paint around. Let's start with the darkest. Oops, not right. I'm very curious to see how the blending goes, because with acrylic it's a bit tricky. Because it dries too fast, the brush strokes are very, very evident. Okay. Can you move on to the cerulean blue? Maybe I should wash off the dark tones. Just gonna mix everything in. In terms of blending, it's not too bad. I am also like curious as to see how fast it actually dries. Maybe like an in-between oils and acrylics. But it is also kind of like in between two extremes where one takes overnight to dry and the other just takes merely seconds. So it's very difficult to tell. Razor dust. Okay. Sorry. Just going in like a zigzag motion. Okay, now to add the purple. Ooh, I do love that. It's very nice. Lavender, lilac kind of color. Yes, yes, I like. Very nice. I think you should add more sky blue. The ultramarine tends to is a bit too much. It soaks up quite a bit of space. Maybe if we can add some more white in the middle just to make it a tad bit brighter, that'll be great. Then add some sky blue to it. I really do love how it blends. It's quite, well, almost seamless compared to acrylics. So that's definitely a 1-up. I don't really quite, I'm like quite okay is how it You can still see a little bit of brush strokes here and there, but you know, mostly the cat will be blocking, so it doesn't really matter that much. And even if it was, you know, it could be a little bit impressionistic. Kind of looks like little clouds the more you just continue on. Gonna add a little bit more white around this area. Give it like a little spotlight feeling. Just a little bit more. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm just gonna go through everywhere. Okay, that looks alright. So you can still see it's very obvious, like around this area is still quite wet, but over here it looks pretty dry. So you can see if I just dab here, it still has a little bit of blue attached to it, like it still smears a little, but for the most part it's like maybe 60% dry. That's interesting. Okay, so what I usually do when I paint, and you can be as impatient as me, usually even in acrylic, I want it to actually dry faster. So whenever I have want that in mind, I actually use a hairdryer and to, you know, make it dry faster. Sorry if it's too noisy for your headphones or speakers. Okay, I actually hold up the hairdryer longer, much longer than I would an acrylic, and it's still actually pretty wet. That's actually quite novel to me. I don't really know what to do with that, but I guess in the meantime, the borders, since it's still unpainted, we shall go over with a ultramarine blue. Just color the sides. I let this dry overnight. It's actually not even 100% dry yet. There's still a little bit of transference of the paint onto any area that you touch. I guess this is great in the sense that it's really more towards oils than acrylics. I mean, but do bear in mind, I've never had experience with oils, so I don't know how close this is to oils in terms of like, is it still supposed to be sticky or stuff like that. But compared to acrylics, it is far from that. Acrylics dry like within minutes, so it's a bit difficult in the sense that I'm not used to it, so I don't really know how this painting is gonna go, but hopefully it'll be great. I wanted to add a little bit of sparkle, so what I have with me is kind of like my self-made brush where I cut a whole bunch of rubber bands and then I folded it in half and then I used another rubber band to stick it all together. I only used it once, but I am trying it out again. So I want like a very random pattern of little sparkles. So I'm just putting it, like just dabbing it everywhere. I love sparkles. I love little, like it's so magical. So I want it to like shower on top. Make it look like little stars. Around the butterfly as well. I just like the randomness of it all. Now it's gonna be more concentrated from the top. I'm just gonna maybe do just a little bit at the bottom as well, but mostly like I want to kind of use it as a spotlight. Okay. So, how do we proceed from here? Usually I have a breakdown when it comes to acrylics because of how acrylics dry so fast. I kind of take advantage of that by creating layers and layers once it dries, creating like the illusion of realism in terms of fur. However, this one I kind of go for a little bit more impressionistic approach. We're gonna take a little bit of burnt umber. I'm gonna take some Peruvian blue, considering that it's so close to how the black look like, and I also want it to kind of take like a more blue tone, considering the background is blue as well. So I'm just gonna unscrew the top here and see. Wow, okay, it's very, very, very dark. But I won't actually really know how the pigment really looks like until you spread it out. So I'm not gonna do my usual. Let's see, where's my okay, my usual realistic approach. I'm gonna try to just kind of do it. I guess my version of impressionism is just slightly less realistic. Not accurately used, I guess. Okay, let's see just how far this takes us, how dark it is. It looks super, super dark. You can mix it up with a little raw sienna, because she has the cat Leia here has kind of like a bluish gray tone to her fur, but we are not we're gonna like add a lot of we're gonna add a lot of different colors, trying to imitate the background, so it's like it looks like she's more part of the background instead of like a copy paste action. Also bear in mind that certain actions are from like, sorry, hang on, kind of lost my train of thought. That I'm using a little bit of yellow ochre here. It's just to imitate the lighter tones. So I'm taking like different colors together. And unfortunately, this paint set does not have any lighter purple tones. So unfortunately, I think I have to use the same one. I'm gonna have to use mauve, but okay, I think we'll just start first. Stop talking, start painting. So, okay. It's a little too watery. So I just want to take like, even though my brush it still has that blue tinge, the dark blue, but I don't want to wash it off. I just want it to blend. So I want it to kind of react. I don't want like a very separate color. I want it to kind of work all together. I guess you don't even have to paint certain areas, because it's like if you want it to imitate the background, then boom, you already kind of have the background in there with you. You can just do like a little like translucency, so it still kind of takes the background. You don't have to really care so much about the about that? Okay. I'm gonna put in some white. I want to see how well the white fares against the background. Like, I wonder whether the background paint that supposedly dried overnight, is it still smeared? Does it still affect? So I'm just gonna take a little bit of white here. Taking the brightest tone is going around this side here. That's not bad. I think it's okay. Just gonna mix a little of yellow ochre with the Peruvian blue. I think it's a little way too dark. Using the yellow ochre as a little bit of highlights, I guess. Okay. I think it's coming along alright, if I do say so myself. I think that's quite a big compliment coming from moi. So you can see like different colors is happening. I don't know what I'm doing, honestly. If you ask me, I have no idea what I'm doing. All I know is I think I'm having fun, so yay! I went a little bit more blue, so I'm gonna take some more cerulean blue and I'm gonna add it to the palette pile. Boom. Yeah. Okay. Oh, right. Okay, we should add some white as well. White is so helpful. Okay. We'll put white here. So I love palette knives because it really helps with taking out paint and placing it in your palette, because then you can just wipe it down like that. Because when I first started painting, I did not buy a palette knife. I just dunk my whole brush in, and especially like, for example, if you just want to keep them separate and you don't want to mix them, So then you kind of like you just dunk your whole brush in there, and then you kind of, even though you wipe down as much as you can, a lot of paint still gets stuck in between the bristles. I mean, that's what brush is for, is to hold as much paint as you can carry. Unfortunately, it's not very good for picking out paint. So I'm following the direction of the fur, because if you don't follow it, it'll look a little weird. I'm just gonna add like some shadows underneath the chin, but I'm not going black on this. I am going a little different color. I'm gonna try a different color. I'm gonna use, I have no idea how you pronounce this, Jaune Brilliant. It's a little like a peach color. I'm gonna mix it a little with yellow ochre. So now we are reaching the face. Face tends to get like a little more detail. Okay, I'm using this pure for the little snout. I'm gonna do the eyes. It's a little different to what I normally do. So I put a touch of cerulean blue in there, and then I'm going around with white so you can mix it. It looks like a very faint white, but a bluish touch. Going over it with the darker tone from the top. And this is really easy to blend because it's kind of like oils. So that's the upside about this. And while we let that dry for a bit, I'm just gonna go over with some white in this area. We want more darkness in the top. Sorry if I'm a little quiet. I usually have a plan of what's going on, but for this one, I have no clue what I'm doing. Honestly, I don't quite understand the properties of this specific paint. Just because you know how to use one type of paint doesn't mean you know how to use all type of paint. So I'm trying to like figure my way out, because like right now I'm having that very typical oil painting problem where it is it takes too long to dry and you're having a very muddy color experience. So that's what is going through my head right now. I have no idea. What am I doing? I don't think it's coming out fairly nice. To be honest, I'm quite panicking on the inside. It looks really ugly, I know. It looks like a clown cat right now. I'm so used to acrylics because if I use acrylics, I know what I want to do. This one, not so much. Okay, just doing the eyes. This cat has very big pupils right now. Oh no. Okay. So, I'm gonna do big fat sparkles. So it's big fat sparkles. I'm not quite convinced with the direction of its eye. See if I can blend it just using water. Okay. That's all right. It's gonna be a big red bow here. I'm just kind of jumping everywhere. Like I said, I don't really have a solid plan. It's like when I paint, I just feel like, oh, okay, I'm gonna start here now. Oh, wait, okay, that sounds a little good. That feels good too. Then I'll just move over there. So, you know, it's pretty free and easy. Nothing to worry too much about. Just do what you feel like. Do her collar. She has this really nice bow color. Bow collar. Okay. For some reason, I feel like I should just stop there first. I should figure out what to do with this area. I feel like it's a bit too bright. It makes its lower cheek look really, I don't know, fat for some reason. I think I need to tone it down a little. I'm trying to blend out the shadows. Now I'm kind of curious what happens when we do add a little bit of cerulean blue together with this kind of lilac color and see what we get. wanted to try another blue. Kind of experimenting with different colors. If there's one thing I learned throughout the years is never be afraid to experiment. It is scary, I know, trust me. I kind of wasn't too sure if I can pull this off. I still don't know if I can, but that's besides the point. Thing is, sometimes you just gotta give it a long, hard look at what you want to do, and you're like, gosh, I don't know if I can do this, and then you just end up, you gotta push yourself, you know. So that's what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm doing something. I didn't say it'll be great, but I'm doing something that's good enough for me. I'm just mixing colors here and there. I don't really know the theory of color. All I know is I know this color mixed with this color, you get this color, and it looks pretty good. So that's about the extent of my knowledge of yeah. Color theory. I want it to look a little more like more lilac, because I do want it to look a little like the background. It kind of looks like, yeah, because the colors kind of, because it is the same color. I did use the same purple mixed with white, and it's essentially almost the same thing, which is a little detrimental on our part, but it's okay. I'm gonna use a little bit of yellow ochre just to move out of the way. I'm gonna use like, cause at first I wanted to do the purple plus plus white, but add more white so it looks more like highlights, but it didn't help because it's still like it's almost too much of the color in the back. So I guess I have to like improvise. Okay, that's not working. Get some yellow ochre and see how that works. So far I think it looks much better because you can tell it's a different color. It just kind of separates it out eventually. still want to use white as highlights because we are getting closer to the light source. I'm gonna use some of these Jown Brilliant, or I'm just gonna call it Peach. Okay, I'm gonna get some peach and like put it a little bit here. Just gonna do a little bit of the cat ears, but then mostly it'll just have a lot of fur in it. I should let that part dry at least a little. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna work a little bit more on the eyes. So it has like, you know, a little eyeliner thingy going on. Some eye makeup that we have to apply to this beautiful cat. Okay, now we have to apply eyeliner. Use the very tip of the brush. I think here is a little bit too dark. I'll try my best to just dilute it. Or use white. Can paint over it. The little butterfly. Okay. From the wings in the beginning near where the body is, it looks kind of like a darker blue, but as it extends further out, it starts to become brighter. So we'll use white when we get there. Also just a little bit towards the end. The wings will be outlined with black, so use white. Just gonna leave white in the middle first. Then I'm just gonna mix it as we start to progress. Okay, so depending on what I want more, like if I want more of blue, I'm gonna smear. I'm gonna spread the blue towards the white. So this is kind of how I'm going to present my method. More blue. Also like that tone where it just kind of spreads out. I love that brush stroke. Okay. Butterfly, relatively easy in the sense that I don't want too much details in it. Oh, I was gonna use black, but then I was like figuring, I'm trying, maybe I like thinking maybe I should just stray away from black. Let's stick with all the beautiful, beautiful colors. Outline it, and I guess for more dramatic flair, we will just polka dot the butterfly. Yeah, I'm gonna use the same purple. Hopefully maybe dark enough. I'm gonna mix a little bit with this blue. And just add as the shadows of this. And then I'm just gonna highlight it with some white. And then we're just gonna blend it out. Just make sure you wash your brush, and then you just feather everything. Just soften it out. Like that. Okay. And there. Something simple.